do you do it now? And is this an extension of, to control, to keep track of, to find, to manage the licensing? You have an issue of saying, I hate to take that on. I've heard that a couple things. Okay. You can do this with the requirements of keeping track. What this bill would require.
This bill is quite different than a previous iteration of it, I believe, embodied in Senate Bill 117, 118, where it was more of a licensing and inspection issue with a $500 fee associated with it. This has gone in a different direction. We appreciate the groups, the industry working with us on this. We've been involved in long discussions with Michigan Humane Society in particular, and just went through the bill and kind of went through the last drafting. But specifically to your question, Senator, we feel like it'll be more of a relationship and cooperation with local units of government that have animal control officers. In some cases, some counties don't have that. And in that case, if we have an inspector in that area, we would just ask them to stop by the next time and check it out. I think it's kind of the way we envision it. It's a work in progress, clearly. Dr. Frank, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, I would agree in that at this point there's multiple components to this bill, so there's a lot of good things in this bill that would help us regulatory-wise streamline our programs. The particular issue on the large-scale breeders, that would be a new entity that we would be registering.
Yeah.
It is just a registration. We have a central licensing unit that is adept at doing those sorts of things, so work-wise to do the registration part would not be a big burden on us. If we got complaints, we would figure out how to follow up on those complaints, so we would definitely want to collaborate and partner with locals.
There will be complaints. There'll be a lot of them.
I assume there will be complaints, yes.
Yeah, they'll come to you. You're going to have to send people. You're going to have to keep track of this. You're supporting the bill, right?
This is
Or
neutral.
neutral. Okay. So you're basically, what is the burden going to be on the Department of Ag?
Again, at this point, if we're at the current threshold we're at in the bill, we estimate there's approximately 10 facilities in the state. So I don't anticipate the burden. We have a long-standing relationship with local units of government, those with animal control, and I recognize that's a shrinking number all the time as local units have suffered under revenue sharing declines and property decline, property values, et cetera. But where possible, we'll use that relationship. Where not, we do have staff. I think you've seen it with this division in particular, the way other divisions even rallied around with TV investigations. So we're a department that prides itself on not getting housed in division silos, and if we've got staff in that area, we'll try to check it out when need be. Again, very small universe.
I guess just to kind of expound upon Vice Chair Booher's comments, we have seen in other parts of the department where there's a cry for more resources, more need. But with this, it seems like you are taking on additional responsibilities, additional time, additional requirements that will be needed of the department. And I guess it was just kind of an editorial comment.
If I may.
Sure.
I think we historically have been a department that hesitates to say no. And on this one in particular, I challenge them. And I think that some of the savings that are inherent in a different part of this bill with record keeping and shortening of in some cases, holding times, there will be savings there too. So I think it balances itself out. When you look at something such as food and dairy inspections, there are audit that came out there that had a compliance rate of 48%. That's a bigger universe, and that is going to require some resources. So we try to balance it out, and I recognize what you're saying, Senator.
Sure, fair enough. Any other questions or comments? Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Now, does your department go and inspect the USDA licensed facilities now? The two that you're talking about?
No, we do not.
So who would do that? The USDA, we have people in the state that do that, be the same people who might do the meat packing or whatever?
Probably different folks in that USDA has separate folks who look at like zoos in particular,
Oh,
perhaps.
So they do have people on the ground
Yeah.
here in Michigan? Okay.
That, in some cases, are covering multiple states.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure how much, because I know you guys do some for the USDA for different things, don't you? And I just didn't know if you did it or if there was a separate.
To respond, I mean, there are multiple different categories of licensing for animals, whether it's zoological facilities or others. And generally, they're veterinarians through the USDA that go out and inspect a large territory. And I think there's a southeast Michigan one, and they may go into another state as well. So there's generally a veterinarian appointed or hired through the USDA that goes out and inspects all these classifications of animal license holders.
Okay, I was just trying to find out if they contract with the USDA or if the USDA had their own people. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you both for being here.